Interstate 88, Western. Alright, yeah. I-88 is an intrastate interstate. In fact, both 88s are. It used to be known as Illinois Highway 5, but they changed it to I-88 in the late 1980s, I believe in 87, when speed limits of 65 miles per hour were allowed on only interstates and not state highways, so they did it for the speed limit thing. But it's been interstate standard for some time, and it's why I consider it the real I-88. Also, Midwest bias, yo. As we can see, I-88 goes from the Quad Cities to the western suburbs of Chicago. You're watching Control City Freak. This is the YouTube channel where we talk about interstate highways and the places that they're signed to go to. If you dig this kind of content, why not give us a like? And if you're really into it, why not subscribe? Yeah, subscribe. Woohoo. Alright, first we are going to talk about Eastbound, Western I-88. So if we are on 280/74 in the Quad Cities approaching I-80, we get no notification of I-88's coming soon on the overhead signs. However, we do get 288 next right. No control cities given. They do put it on both sides of the road, so we do get some alert to I-88. If you're coming from the southeast portion of this interchange, we get 80 West Davenport, 80 East Chicago, and 74 and 280 listed. In 88, we're going to be meeting in just a couple miles, and there is no mention of I-88 in this scene, which is a little weird because technically 74 and this section of 280 and 88 are all part of the CKC highway connecting Kansas City and Chicago. I'm not going to show the interchange from 80 because I already did that in the 80 video. Let's look at Highway 92 as we approach the I-80 intersection. We see a pull through for I-88 saying the same thing that the 80 interchange says, which is Sterling and Rock Falls, which is a horrible choice in my opinion. It should say Aurora, Chicago, and then 80 should say Joliet, Chicago to differentiate the parts of town you're going to be going through. And at random interchanges, it is 88 for Sterling and Rock Falls. Somebody mentioned that might be because that's where the toll road starts and it's free until Sterling or Rock Falls, but I don't care. That's not a good reason. The road is going to Chicago. That's what most people are using it for. Not many people are going to Sterling or Rock Falls unless they're on some sort of, President Reagan's various boyhood home tour, which the highway is named for now. Here's our first mileage sign, Sterling Rock Falls 41 and Chicago 155. So Chicago is on the very first mileage sign, as well it should be. Right outside of Sterling and Rock Falls, we have an exit for US 30 East Joliet. Going the other way on 30 East, it would be for Sterling and Rock Falls. And we get 88 East Tollway. This is IDOT telling you that you're going to have to pay a toll basically from this exit on if you continue. And from this point, at random interchanges, it is 88 East Tollway, Chicago. We get two cities on the tollway signs, so we get Dixon 11, Chicago 111. And here is our toll plaza. We don't have a cash option, so I can't tell you exactly how much it costs. Probably ranges based on peak hours, non-peak hours, and I feel like this is how the tollways get you anyway. You really never know what you're spending anymore. It's all just Easy Pass or iPass or license plate. Here's our one main interstate junction that is not in one of the major metros that we go through, and we get 39 North Rockford and 39 South Bloomington Normal. We get no pull through for I-88. Instead, we get the next exit listed, which is 13 miles away in DeKalb. And here we see DeKalb 14, Chicago 76. We stay with the two-city configuration on the tollway signs. Random interchanges are still East Tollway, Chicago. And after DeKalb, we get Aurora 20, Chicago 61. Here's our exit for Aurora, the most primary exit for downtown Aurora, and they don't even tell us Aurora, so that's not great signage. We just get Highway 31, Highway 56, and we see that there's one more toll to pay ahead. We meet I-355, another tollway, and we are on 88 East Chicago, and we see 355 signed for Northwest Suburbs and 355 signed for Joliet. Might have used to been Southwest Suburbs, which would be quite a cool sign here. The exit for 355 South is a little ways before 355 North, so here's the exit for North, and still a pull through 88 East Chicago. We're meeting 294 and 290 here at the Hillside Strangler interchange, so 294 South Indiana, and we're going to be signed through traffic for 290 and 294. We get the exit for North 294 and for West 290, which really is kind of going north also. Traffic defaults onto East East 290, which is not a toll road, it's the Eisenhower Expressway into Chicago. And as we approach eastbound 290, we have a split for Mannheim Road and for East 290 Chicago. And here's what it looks like as we dump into 290. It's a left exit that we are dumped in through, as IDOT does sometimes. And we're going to follow 290 to the end, why not? On the eastbound Ike, you get some of the best Chicago city views that you'll see anywhere in town, so pretty awesome going straight toward the skyline. And here we are approaching downtown, so we see 9094 West Wisconsin, 9094 East Indiana, as they generally always do. 290 has officially ended here, but we are still on a freeway. We go under the Chicago Post Office, and we are now on Ida B. Wells Road, used to be Congress Parkway. We get an exit for Wacker Drive, and pro tip, if you are on the Dan Ryan and you're heading into the lakefront northern part of the city, like to Uptown or Lakeview or something like this was always the way I took. I always got off at 290 and then took lower Wacker over to Lakeshore Drive and then Lakeshore Drive up. Pretty cool way to go. And here is where Ida B. Wells / Congress ends. Columbus Avenue, and it ends right here at the Buckingham Fountain, so that's pretty cool. All right, let's turn around and go westbound down 88 Western. Here's our intersection with Columbus Avenue and Ida B. Wells, so we see that sign over there. We're going to turn left to get to 290. No 88 mentions out here, of course, just 290. And we pass down this awesome wall of buildings, mid-sized buildings along Michigan Avenue in downtown Chicago. Very nice. And we're on the freeway now, so we are going to be getting on West Eisenhower Expressway, Aurora. For a million years, it always said 290 West suburbs, but they switched it to Aurora, maybe to match with I-88. I feel like West suburbs kind of worked because it meant, Oak Park and Lisle and all those other suburbs out there. I kind of miss that. And on 290, we are back in Hillside, so we meet the Hillside Strangler again. We see the start of 88 West Tollway, Aurora, and 294, interestingly, North Tollway, Milwaukee, and not Wisconsin, which makes sense because North 294, you're going to be going to I-94, which goes to Milwaukee, and you don't really have the default choice of Milwaukee or Madison. You're going right to Milwaukee on 94 there. Here we have 294 South Indiana and Roosevelt Road here, and West 88 Aurora left 2 lanes. So look at the Oak Brook area. Lots of corporate type stuff there. McDonald's used to be headquartered out there, although they moved downtown now. And right by Oak Brook, we meet Illinois 83, and we continue 88 West Toll Aurora. We're meeting 355 again. We get the same control cities on it as we did before. And here we have the exit for 355 South Joliet, and we're going to be on 88 Toll West Aurora. And for a little while, 355 and 88 are right next to each other. The first time I ever drove on 355, this blew my mind. I'd never been on a road like this where you're driving on a carriageway in between 2 carriageways going the opposite direction. Pretty interesting. At Highway 59, I guess IDOT or ISTA or whoever it is has decided we are close enough to Aurora, so now we are going to sign 88 for DeKalb and Iowa. Here's our toll plaza in Aurora. As you see, it's all just open road tolling. And here's our look at our Aurora exit once again, and still no signage to tell us that this is where you get off for Aurora. We just get that 3156. Pretty weird. And in downtown Aurora, we also get West 88 DeKalb, Iowa, 88 East Chicago. Not sure how I feel about DeKalb there or Iowa. Honestly, I would probably say Rock Island Moline would be the way to go. DeKalb is a reasonably sized city, and it's home of Northern Illinois University, which is pretty big. But again, I come from Lawrence, Kansas, a home of a much bigger university, and I don't advocate for it to be a control city. So I feel like I'm being consistent when I say maybe not DeKalb. DeKalb makes its way onto the overhead sign here, so we are properly on 88 West DeKalb. This is pretty weird. We get DeKalb 22, Iowa 117. I've seen states on overheads lots of times in Chicagoland, but I don't remember seeing the actual state on a mileage sign, like 117 to the state line. I wonder if that means taking 80 or taking 280 or going through town on 92. Here is, I think, the DeKalb Oasis. They don't have the overhead one over the freeway the way they used to. Now they've just got a normal looking one to the side, and we see that bridge over there takes westbound traffic over to that Oasis. In DeKalb, we get 88 East Chicago and 88 West Moline, Rock Island, so that works. That's awesome. And now we're getting Rochelle 16, Rock Falls 51. That's weird. Why not Moline or Rock Island on that sign? Here we meet I-39 just outside of Rochelle, so we get 39 South, Bloomington Normal, 39 North, Rockford, as it generally is in Illinois. Looking at the interchange from I-39's perspective, we see it's 88 East Chicago and 88 West Moline, Rock Island. And I checked, it is the same thing going both directions in I-39. At random interchanges, it is 88 East Tollway, Chicago, and West Moline, Rock Island. So this is where the tollway ends. So we see tollway for East, but no tollway for West. So from this point on, this I believe is in Dixon, it is a free road. And yes, we see 88 West Moline, 88 East Chicago. Now Iowa comes back. We are no longer on the toll road. We have an IDOT signed road, and we're getting Rock Falls in Iowa. Or maybe the tollway is still signing it at this point. Might still be signed by the Toll Association. Here's our exit for Rock Falls, that US 30 that says Joliet going the other way. And here we cross the Rock River, which makes itself up to Rockford and kind of heads over to Rock Island. So a lot of rocks going on there, Rock Falls. And I mainly got this picture because there's not that much scenic on I-88. This is about as good as we could do for our opening picture. And now we're getting Illinois 7810, Interstate 8035, and then Rock Island Moline 51. So here we meet I-80, so we get 80 East to 74 Peoria and 80 West Des Moines. So they do put 74 on the sign, but they don't really do it too much the other way. They don't tell 74 traffic that much about 88. East 80 to 74 Peoria is probably the most sensible way, because most traffic going in this ramp here is probably going to continue on 74 and will not be taking 80 back towards Chicago. That would not make much sense. And we see straight ahead West Illinois 5, the remnants of Illinois 5, it used to be this whole road, and Illinois 92 for Moline, Rock Island. And right after that interchange, we get 88 ends and 5 begins. So this is where our video shall end. All right, let's take a look at Todd's the way it should be for Western I-88. I'm gonna say it should be eastbound, Aurora/Chicago only in the Quad Cities interchanges, and then just Chicago once you're away from that, because you don't have to differentiate from I-80 anymore once you're away from the Quad Cities. Just Chicago the rest of the way it works. Westbound, I'm okay with Aurora. It's kind of a suburb, but it's, you know, second biggest city in Illinois, so I guess Aurora works all right. And then I would go straight for Rock Island Moline after that. I would skip DeKalb. I understand the reasoning for having DeKalb, but I would go ahead and go for the bigger metro area beyond that. All right, thank you so much for watching this episode of Control City Freak. Hope you've enjoyed it, and we will be back with 88 Eastern pretty soon. My name is Todd, and up until then, keep on trucking.